Anyway, as the game begins, you find yourself on the rough seas of the Deridonian Strait. Captain Donavucci is trying to sail through the storm. Hang on a minute. There we go. You, Nash, you're busy manning the rigging as the storm throws you left and right. You almost fly over the side. You, Flora, are below decks, holding Loretta's hand, trying to make sure she pulls through.
She was so brave.
Whereas you, Swift, you of course are on decks as well, climbing over the sort of slippery mast and so forth, trying to keep the ship in some semblance of order.
Order is overrated.
However, after for about an hour or so of churning seas and harsh winds, eventually the storm seems to calm down. Once again, the ship is stable.
Oh.
Captain Donavucci comes back down on deck. Now, let me just put everyone who is below decks. Nash! Swift! Donavucci waves the two of you over.
Oh, hello, Captain.
I wander over, extraordinarily tired and irritable.
Okay. It seems fighting those sea monsters was very draining for you.
Yeah.
Nash, thank you for saving my life earlier.
Not a problem. You would have done the same for me.
Of course, as I said earlier. Unfortunately, it does not seem to be the same for your Lady Flora and her assistant there.
Well, I'm confident that my lady will help Loretta.
Or she'll find another walking stick figure.
Did you just say that out loud?
It's been a long day.
Captain Donavucci looks at you with complete disgust and contempt, as do a couple of the other crewmen.
He's a joker, this one.
You could even hear Talon saying, "Even I think that was a little bit harsh, but only a little." Okay, right. Right. The storm seems to have passed. However, as you can see, one of the sides of the masts has collapsed. The sails are torn and shredded. The hull is scratched and scuffed up. The ship is barely holding together. We need new supplies of rope. We need to have the sails refitted. We need to have the mast repaired. We cannot sail much further without going to dock. Nash, I ask that you bring Lady Flora up here. We need to have an important discussion.
Sure, I'll just go and fetch her.
Okay, Lady Flora, you are fetched.
I open the hatch and shout. Flora, get up here!
Storms and seas.
She'll be up momentarily.
Norman says that he will make sure one of the crew looks after Loretta while you talk to Donavucci. Okay, so do you all go up above decks?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent.
She looks a little sad, but she'll do so.
I lean over to Donavucci. So should we do some sort of burial for your deceased shipmates?
Yes, we should. I will give them a proper send-off. But first, we need to have this discussion. I will have like I said, I will have the proper funeral in a bit. Waves the lot of you over. Right. 3 of my men are dead. Lady Flora, I am grateful to you, of course, that you managed to save 2 of them, though they are badly injured. But, I have a feeling you have not been entirely forthcoming with me. Especially you, Swift. Looks down towards you.
I'll grin
During
nervously.
Sir, in the same time I discovered the existence of sea monsters, I discovered that my unassuming little cabin boy is also a magic user. Who shoots gouts of flame across my deck in the middle of a storm.
Yeah.
Captain, given the current state of crew and the ship, is this the best time for confrontation?
You're out of the storm now. And as I said, 3 of my crew are dead, 2 injured, and we've been attacked by sea monsters who may have torn the ship apart.
Yeah,
I
it
need
could
you
have
to
been a
tell me,
lot
Lady
worse
Flora.
if we weren't here.
But that is the question, though. Would they have been here if it were not for you?
Guess we'll never know.
I want to know, Lady Flora, what is this mission you have in Stratholm? Captain Donavucci folds his arms.
I have no reason to believe the mission has any bearing on the attack on your ship. Nor do I think we could adequately explain where they might have come from. I admit to not knowing enough about the local waters to know if there is some sort of attraction monsters have to those who use magic, but if we were the cause of putting your ship in danger, then we sincerely apologize. Hope you can forgive us, Captain. It was not out of spite or ill intention.
Make me a persuasion roll.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I'm not gonna make you do any minuses. Norman is there to assist you.
As am I.
Didn't feel like it was pulled towards us specifically.
Oh.
Captain Donavucci nods. Yes, I get the sense you are just as confused about this as I am. You may be a sorcerer of some sort, but it seems there are some things even you cannot explain. And you've paid me my money anyway. I was the one who decided to take on this risk. As for you, Swift,
Well,
why did you not tell me about your powers?
kind of the same reason that J-Card didn't tell you he was an elf, really, because, you know, it's not really something you want people to know, because, with respect, Captain, when we first met, I wasn't sure whether or not you'd be one of those strange people who seem to enjoy money more than my company, and, you know, you might end up selling me out to the other 2 nations, and after that, it just became sort of, habit. I mean, out of respect to you, I don't really use fire magic very often on, well, a ship. And I forgot. I just spread my arms nervously.
Well, I suppose it was a situation that could be deemed an emergency. Well, at least you're being honest with me now.
Yes.
Well, now I'm going to have to be honest with you. This ship is in urgent need of repairs, as I said. We are not going to make it the rest of the way to Stratholm without going into dock. The nearest dock is...
Don't say Lotham. Don't say Lotham. Don't say Lotham. Don't say Lotham.
The nearest dock is on an island called Skalavik. Now, Lady Flora... Oh, by the way, make me a knowledge geography roll. Lady Flora.
Shit. And our survey says,
What does that name bring to mind, Andros?
"Oh no!"
No. That might be where they're from. Oh no.
So close to the mainland, I hope not.
Flora,
yes.
you're in for a ride.
Okay. Now, the Isle of Skalavik It used to be a, shall we say, a primitive place where there were many coastal raiders who raided the countries which have now all been conquered by Deridon. Skalavik, likewise, has been recently conquered by Deridon, and now they have installed a sort of puppet government there. Though it is not technically Deridonian territory, it's still basically a puppet government, and we are in some danger going there. However, if we do not go there for repairs, I do not think the ship will last to Stratholm.
Lady Flora?
Mm.
Is Deridon the country that kills people that use magic, or the country that enslaves people that use magic? I forgot.
From your knowledge geography, you know it's the country that kills people.
Yeah, I had a character I couldn't remember which one was which either. Yeah, just imagine Deridon, D for dead, Lothamore, L for life. Good way to remember.
Life as it were, I suppose.
Though whether it's a life worth living is another question entirely. Anyway, continue.
Well, if they will accept us in port, I fear we have little choice.
Well, this is the thing, Lady Flora. You're obviously going to have to keep the fact you're a priestess of the Dawnbringers under your hat, so to speak. And as are you, Swift, going to have to keep the fact that you're a magic user yourself under your lovely pointed hat.
You're surprisingly calm about this.
Calm? I have to be calm. I'm in these sorts of situations all the time. Do you think being a privateer is easy?
No.
You're the ones who are going to get horribly killed if they find out you are a half-elf and the two of you are magic users.
Oh, you still have a vested interest in keeping this quiet. I don't think they'll be lenient with you since you're helping us.
No, it's doubtful that they will. However, as I say, I must try and stay as calm as possible in these bad situations. That's what a captain does.
Admirable. Well, we're used to keeping a low profile.
Good. I would advise you to think up some kind of a cover story, as it were, before we dock. The nearest port is a small coastal town called Freyfire. So before we dock there,
That's
try
cozy.
and... Well, I wouldn't exactly call it cozy from the times I've been there before. Then again, the times I've been there before have not been harboring secret agents and magic users and half-elves. He chuckles to himself. Anyway, think of some sort of a cover story before we make landfall. I will leave you now to your preparations. We should arrive tomorrow morning. Captain Donavucci goes back to steering the ship.
I turn to Lady Flora. So, a cover story. Something close to the truth would be good. But not all the way, so to speak. It's easier to keep.
Well, I still have my position as the ship's cabin boy, you know, for as long as, I look over my shoulder, for as long as Donavucci, you know, kind of wants a magic user.
Well, I don't think that'll do for the cover story, since you'll be accompanying us.
We're going ashore?
Well, it would be all the more suspicious if we hide below decks on the ship. If they do a search or a just some sort of investigation, then it'll be all the harder to explain. If we do act as if we have nothing to hide, it'll arouse less suspicion.
Yes. So, I'm thinking Swift. You've been Norman's apprentice.
What?
Yeah, you'd be Norman's apprentice. That would work.
My apprentice?
What?
This
I can see
impetuous
that
whelp?
What?
Yes, it's a good cover.
Yeah, but an apprentice is normally apprenticed to like a master or someone knowledgeable. I mean, Norman's got a head emptier than the fucking ale cask.
I beg your pardon?
Nash laughs out loud.
Lady Flora, this is a wicked child. I find it hard to believe
all the more reason you need to take him on as an apprentice.
Hmm.
Show him the
Well, then,
ways.
young man, you had better act as if you actually are my apprentice, and show me some respect.
Nash laughs again.
Clearly a lot of
Seems
work
displeased. And what of you, Lady Flora, and you, Nash?
Well, we could still be a delegation.
Lady
For
Flora.
a delegation of the Dawnbreakers, they ain't going to be happy.
I obviously think the truth that you're a agent of the Dawnbringers, well, and a priestess of the Dawnbringers, would not be good. Perhaps if you were to use your religious knowledge to pose as some sort of a priestess of the one true church of Deradon, that might be a potential cover story.
Oh, don't they wear silly costumes, though?
I'd have to hide my own symbols. I'm not sure if we have any that could.
I guess just a traveling
take short
noblewoman
notice.
could work.
The blind travelling sister of some fat-ass noble of Lotha, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, people have hired ships for stupider things. There was some guy who tried to go around the world. Fell off the edge, naturally.
I do not see why my apprentice would have such a poor knowledge of geography.
I don't see why my master would have such a poor knowledge of everything.
This is going to be interesting.
Perhaps all the more believable if they do bicker.
Indeed.
So, my lady, you are settled on being a travelling noblewoman, then?
The clothing might need some small adjustments. But otherwise, I think the robes I have would be able to pass well enough as finery.
Alright, we will remove any identifying symbols, and hopefully your robes will serve the purpose.
Yeah,
All right.
and I can still be the bodyguard.
Well,
But as long as
think that we
everything's
should-
okay for you.
as long as you don't see anything foolish, it should be fine. Right, well, let us prepare for tomorrow. I do hope Loretta does recover. I've become good friends with her in these past few weeks.
How is she, by the way?
She is holding on.
Good to hear.
She is holding on.
She's not
But,
awake yet.
If she does awake, I think she will carry her injury around with her for some time.
But
It
I
was
think,
certainly a close shave there. It was only the fact you got to her at the last moment with your magic, Lady Flora, that she is still alive.
well, I guess when Lady Flora is rested, she can have another go at it, and it'll be all right.
All right. Well, unless there is anything else to be done, I suggest we get some rest for tonight. It's certainly been a tiring day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I have to talk to Thomas.
All right. You walk off to the side and talk to Thomas. Thomas is busy pulling the cannon back into place.
And I tap his shoulder and sort of loom over him. Thomas.
What is it? What is it?
I just wanted to congratulate you. You did well.
I don't know if I did well. I mean, I swung my hammer at that thing, but it...
Yeah, but you
Didn't seem to
overcome
have
your fear.
The cutlass.
Yeah. You overcame your fears.
Cutlass.
That's the important thing. And you survived.
Suppose so. I never thought I'd have the strength to kill one person, let alone fight a sea monster.
You've come a long way.
Well, thank you, Nash.
Well, keep
I
it
hope
up
in
and
some
we'll...
small way you've forgiven me for
Oh, we're coming there.
betraying you.
We're coming there.
He nods.
Well, keep it up and we'll make a real man out of you someday. And I walk off.
Be a man.
Alright, anything else the rest of you want to do before you go to bed for the night?
Maybe
Not
we
really.
should. Perhaps we should decide on aliases.
You know what?
Aliases.
Alright,
Alternate names for ourselves.
Oh,
Oh, code names.
okay, fair enough. Like what? I've always just gone by Swift.
alright. How about you think about that while you're asleep?
Yes.
Okay, so you all retire back to your cabins, getting ready for the next day. While you are sleeping, though, Lady Flora, you start having a particularly intense dream. And interestingly enough, your dream, it's as if for the first time you're not just feeling things or hearing things, you're actually seeing something in your mind's eye as well.
It's going to be quite scary. Very scary.
And it is very scary,
Ooh.
as even though you don't know what purple is, there is this strong purple color, and there are just these gleaming lights across the array of your vision. As whispers start to pass through your head, you feel as if you're drifting on a cloud, just deep in emptiness, and you feel just like you're swimming in the middle of the sea, and you can't see shore or the bottom or the top or anything, just drifting in emptiness. And you start to hear voices, and they sound just like indistinct whispers at first, but then they start to make sense. This one is diseased. This one does not work. This one could harm others. It must be destroyed. Then you start hearing another voice saying, "No, this one is my meld partner. It must not be destroyed." Then you hear the other voice once again. "This one focuses too much on one form, one shape. It is corrupted. It may spread its influence to others. I cannot allow this to continue for much longer. Please, let me counsel to it. I can try and help make it better." "Very well. It seems in pain, though. So ending its existence may be for the best. Please, just a little more time." And then the visions slowly start to fade out again. You wake up.
No, more than a dream.
All right, how do you react to waking up from that completely bizarre and terrifying vision?
Yeah, possibly chest heaving, a little, probably beads of sweat.
Okay. Norman gets up. "Lady Flora, are you all right?"
Water, please, Norman. Some water would be.
Norman goes
Thank you.
and fetches you some water, hands you a cup.
Kind of a flagon. Just kind of hold it, get some stability, both hands. Just kind of slow, steady drinks. I've sometimes heard of some of the other priests talk of divine communion, being able to having visions that were more than just inspiration, that were seems to blur the lines between a dream and what is real.
I see. And you experience one of these?
I think so. wasn't as warm as I would hope my first proper communion would be.
I understand, Lady Flora. I mean, certainly communicating with one of Thaeon's angels is not easy, or for the faint of heart. I'm sure you would see things that would make a normal person go pale.
You are a good man, Norman.
Thank you, Lady Flora.
I'm pleased that the difficulties that sometimes comes with being a priest or priestess are limited to only a few. It's not always easy.
I know, Lady Flora, but try and persevere. How about we go to see if Loretta's any better?
Yes, that would be good. See how she has been dreaming.
Alright, you go to check on Loretta, and you see her eyes are slowly starting to flicker open.
Well, I don't see that, but no one does.
Well, okay, you don't see it. You're blind! you hear her laboured
Come on,
breathing,
dude.
and you feel her hand reaching out to you.
Well, again, it's all Norman's narration. Lady, her eyes are
Norman
flickering
narrates,
open.
her eyes are flickering open, my lady! Yes, mistress, thank you for saving me.
You have saved me on a great many occasions, Loretta.
I know
It's
it's
good to hear your
strange,
voice
but
once again.
I feel glad that I was able to understand some of the pain you have been going through your communion with the Spirit. I know it has given you much pain and distress sometimes. That it has not always been easy.
I do trust you completely, Loretta.
Thank you. I feel I must rest a bit longer before I can be on my feet again, but I hope Norman will be able to perform my roles the best he can until I'm well again.
Keep your strength, Loretta.
Okay, I will rest now. She goes back to sleep.
Rest well in Thaeon's light.
A crewman comes down. We'll be making landfall soon. You landlubbers want to come up and have a look?
I imagine there's sort of a deadpan silence between Norman and myself for a moment. Yes, the morning sun will feel good on my skin. Please, Norman.
Seems like they're having a kind of a funeral, as it were, for the departed crewman. Would you like to... Donavucci asked you to say a few blessings for them, if you would be so kind.
Certainly.
Would you kindly?
Would you kindly?
Kindly on knife point.
I'm thinking about
Would you
that.
kindly say a few blessings for these dead crewmen?
I'm thinking about the Bioshock reference.
Yeah, me too.
Oh.
Yeah, thanks to Bioshock, none of us can hear "Would you kindly" without instantly thinking of that. Manners is slavery. That's the lesson we all
Big
took
Pete
away
is
from
playing
Bioshock.
Amazing Grace on the bagpipes.
Nash is somewhat scratching his head. Where's Loretta?
These brave souls we consign to Thaeon's great warm and welcoming light. Gave their lives in duty. That's all anyone could ever ask of them. Thaeon will receive them warmly with great welcome and will give them the rest they deserve.
Captain Donavucci just says, I did not share all the Aura's beliefs, though I appreciate her sentiments. I will simply say, men, they lived for the sea, they lived for adventure, and they died doing what they love.
Melting.
I hope that any of the rest of us could be so lucky. Donovici allows them to slide off the decks to the sea.
Sploosh.
Splosh.
Splunk.
Hard
Last
to
one was
words
fat.
spoken by
Splunk.
someone who knew them.
The last one was fat.
Look over to Flora and says, "Where's Loretta?"
Loretta is resting.
Oh,
She
so
will be
you,
for some time still.
so you didn't like fix her?
There are a great many things that, despite our talents, we can't fix.
Oh, I just assumed. Well,
It's okay.
Oh, Nash being a bit bitchy.
If it makes you feel any better, Nash, there are a lot of things that I can't do in general. Like, what Flora does, I can't do. And I'm going to guess that what I do, Flora probably can't do.
probably not.
Sometimes we just have to. Sometimes it is out of our control. We need to trust in Thaeon. Trust that Loretta will be better.
Voice rings out. Land ho! Okay. Do.
I get the feeling that this place isn't going to look as pretty as the last port.
Okay.
No.
There's just something about
It has a rugged charm.
the uglier the mentality, the uglier the town.
You approach a wind-beaten looking settlement. The rough waves lash violently against the rickety wooden docks. There are countless fishermen's boats beside the shore, dotting the pebble-strewn beaches.
Oh, great,
Buildings
so it
are a far
smells.
cry from the Isle of Maya, most of them built from wood and thatch. As you go closer to the docks, the people you see seem far more pale-skinned than those Jarek or Osea might be used to, even though it might be hard to tell initially because their cheeks are so dirty and red from constant exposure to bitter winds.
Ugh.
Right, you start coming ashore, and the docking ropes are let out, and you're pulled closer. You kind of see a ruddy-faced kind of man, a few ruddy-faced kind of men in sort of these ugly brown clothes. These people of Galavik certainly looking a bit more rough and ready and dirty and filthy and poverty-stricken than the people you're used to in Jarek and Osea.
Well,
And
this...
mooring clamps are finished, and the from your knowledge of geography, Lady Flora, you know that the people of Skalavik are a proud people who are now being who sort of had these pagan beliefs, but they are now being slowly subdued and subsumed by the Deridonian Empire. And they're one true church of Thaeon.
There is an underlying feeling of a culture, a very once proud culture that still wishes to survive despite the pressures from a much greater nation.
Nothing survives the church's belief. I mean, the church with the most military always instills their own belief. That's how the world works, right?
Sadly, that is the case.
I mean, even your church, chances are that they only managed to get the beliefs that all mages aren't bad into place because of a certain amount of military might.
Not military might. We have
Guile.
guile and business sense, which is how one survives in Jarok.
Yeah, I know you still have Nash with you. What's going
Again,
to convince so many people? Then you have to start using fire.
Sadly necessary.
Well, the
in this
pointy
day and
end.
age.
Right. After a short while, you notice there are there's a rather large group of soldiers approaching your position. They
Hello, there comes the conversion spot.
they all wear these cloaks. They are emblazoned with Derodon's symbol. It is a burning sword. And these are well-dressed, well-armored soldiers. They're quite unlike any you've seen sometime. At the front of the procession are two men who catch your eye in particular, and I will show you to them momentarily. Zip. By the way, even though these are the people who are coming aboard, there are plenty more soldiers on the docks.
Okay, so it's not a good thing to start anything here.
It would not be a good idea to start a fight right now.
I lean over to Flora and say, well, you're Lady Marjorie.
I was thinking Lady Madeline.
Madeline. That'll do.
All
I'm William.
At the front of the procession, you see an immaculately clean-shaven, stern-looking man wearing a gleaming golden breastplate emblazoned with the burning sword. He holds his head high as if he felt he was above all others. He approaches your group. Who is in charge here? Come forward.
Look over to the captain.
Ah, I am the captain of this humble vessel, Captain Donavucci. Pleased to meet you. Captain Hartford just sort of... though you don't know his name yet. He looks down with a snort. My name is Commander Hartford. I also act as the governor of this squalid little burg. I have been in task with the duty of making sure these people see Thaeon's light. And what is your business here? Oh, simply passing through, you could say. As you see, my vessel has been severely damaged in these storms. These are treacherous waters, I'm sure you're aware. I suppose that is a plausible explanation. And of course, I'm sure you'll understand, during your stay here, you'll have to be inspected for any heresy. A standard procedure. I'm sure you'll understand. Hartford turns, looks to the rest of you. You seem to be dressed in quite high finery. What is your name?
Lady Madeline of Jarrock. And these are my servants and retainers.
I give him a brisk nod.
A noble woman of Jarrock. What brings you out to this place? I certainly didn't come here out of choice.
I came up with cover names, but didn't have enough time to think of the story.
Well,
Too busy having nightmares.
Neither did we. We're only here because of the storm. We're on our way to Stratholm to make trade agreements.
I would have thought the master would kind of give that away.
Bureaucrats. Fair enough. Looks around. Quite a well-armed vessel.
Well, one can't be too careful.
No. I suppose you can't. He waves over to somebody else. There's another man. I will describe him post-haste. You see a man with sandy blonde hair and fair skin, like many you've already seen in Freyfire, but he is much cleaner looking, with a well-trimmed beard and a city guardsman's uniform, complete with chainmail armor and a plumed helmet. When he speaks with an affectation that suggests he's trying a bit too hard to emulate Governor Hartford. Yes, hello. I am Olaf. I will be inspecting you.
How offensive is this to you, Pixie?
Not at all. He's doing a quite good job of it.
Fair enough.
I'm trying to do a kind of a vaguely Nordic accent, but somebody who's trying to sound like they're not Nordic,
Yeah,
which isn't easy.
Hello, my name is Olaf.
Hello, my name is Olaf. So, I am the captain of the guard in the town. Goes over and pats you down, Nash. So you have weapons on you.
Well,
I
am.
hope you will keep them sheathed while you are here.
Well, I am a bodyguard.
Yes, yes, understandable. You can't be too careful in these days. It's over. Looks over Flora, Norman as well.
You have our full cooperation, Captain.
Thaeon's light
Good.
upon you.
Yes, Thaeon's light upon me indeed. As a governor of this place, I am one of the chosen ones of Thaeon.
Indeed. I bow my head.
My lady, I know you come from Jarok, but I hope you're familiar with Thaeon's teachings as well.
Most certainly. I was brought up the correct way.
Good. Well, tell me, can you tell me a testament from the Book of Thaeon?
Certainly. Which
Make
one?
me a knowledge religion roll.
A good test.
You're able to relate to him a passage where
Probably not one of the obscure ones, though. That's not good.
Probably a good thing you didn't go with the priest thing.
you relate to him a passage. Thaeon's sort of fighting 5 sort of elven assassins at once, and he manages to slay them all with his mighty battle axe.
Probably saving a cot full of babies at the same time.
But of course, the cot full of babies. But sort of afterwards, he says, though my axe may be stained with blood, my heart feels only desire for justice. Something like that. I don't know. Some bollocks. Anyway, Harford nods.
Oh, fuck.
Yes, one of my favourite passages. Though one must be valorous in fighting, they must not forget Thaeon wanted order and peace after the fighting was done, not to be consumed by bloodlust. Isn't that right, Olaf? Oh yes, it is certainly very right. You would not want to be consumed with bloodlust at all.
No,
Yes,
not at all.
Very good, Olaf. You've learned well, unlike many of your people. Right. I'm
There's
done
a
here.
berserker.
Unfortunately, our last Inquisitor has had to be recalled. We'll be getting a new one soon. Tomorrow your ship will be thoroughly inspected. In the meantime, I hope you'll have a chance to do any repairs you need to your ship. Come now, Olaf. We've dallied here long enough.
Hey boy, hey boy.
Olaf nods. And they leave the ship.
I ask Adanabuchi, so how long do you think this will take?
Well, if we're quick about it and we're granted the supplies we need, it should only take a few days.
Well, we have to prepare some things. And go over.
Yes, the only problem is the when the Inquisitor gets here, the inspection, shall we say, that might be unfortunate.
Oh, anything in particular?
What have you stuck in your hold on Aduchi?
Well, the 3 of you, for one thing. When the Inquisitor gets here, they might, how shall we say, look over the 3 of you a bit more thoroughly than those lot did.
Well, doesn't Daradon kill any mages and magic users they come across? They shouldn't have anyone capable of sensing who we are, right? I mean, anyone who develops that sort of ability they knock off.
Yeah.
Even if he has the ability, he ain't gonna fucking show it.
Oh, they have ways. They have ways. A single guard runs onto the ship. Commander Hartford told me to tell you something. He says that until the Inquisitor's finished doing his inspection, you are to be denied any access to the warehouse where any supplies might be stored. And that until an officially signed document is to be presented to the warehouse, you will not be allowed access to it until your inspection has been completed. He nods and rushes off. Well, that creates a difficult situation.
Bribes, maybe?
The inspection.
Probably best not to start bribing religious nut jobs. I mean, the locals...
They're not all religious nut jobs here, Swift. A lot of them are just people, humble fishermen trying to get on with life despite the oppression.
Yeah, and I think this Hadford would be susceptible to bribes as well. He doesn't seem all that satisfied with his post here.
I don't know, it seemed pretty zealous to me.
Listen. I think we need to get our hands on those supplies and maybe do a rush job on the repairs and maybe do some of the rest at sea. I don't think we want to still be here when that Inquisitor gets here.
I have to agree.
Me too.
You work on the repairs, Donovan. I could try and get into the supply store. Depends on what we need, though.
I doubt you could carry everything there.
No,
Well, I was
need,
thinking more along the lines of coming across it officially. I am quite persuasive.
if you can find a way to get that officially signed document from Governor Hartford saying we're permitted to take supplies, then me and my crew could get the supplies on board fairly quickly. The trouble is getting that signed document, as I doubt Hartford is just going to give it to you.
Bribes.
I see a weak link here. We might not have to resort to bribes.
Why?
Did you notice that Olaf followed around Hartford like a lost puppy?
Yes.
You have an air of uncertainty about him.
If we could convince that local that Hartford told him to sign off on something, then we might be able to get an official document or an official looking document.
But Hadford could still make trouble then.
Yeah, you're right, he could, but if we get the supplies relatively quickly and make sure that we do it at a time when he's also preoccupied with something else, say household trouble or whatever, then we should be able to get the supplies in and then get out of here before he notices.
What kind of trouble do you think?
Well, this is a wooden village. I grin manically.
Oh, Swift,
Yeah,
please don't.
got a good point there.
You're going to set this impoverished village on fire as a distraction?
Not exactly. I was thinking more along the lines of setting his, finger quotes, impoverished manor on fire, because do you think that guy really lives in a tent?
Okay. Well, before we can try and get our hands on that sealed document, maybe we could go into town and find some information about the what the situation is here.
Indeed.
I was thinking just the same.
Would you like to go, Lady Flora, with Nash? Stay here and take care of the ship.
Lady Madeline.
Oh, Lady Madeline, of course.
And I'm William.
Ah, William and Lady Madeline. He nods.
William does not suit you.
Can you get a better name then?
Richard?
How about Robin?
Robin. Okay. I'll go with Robin. Well, let's head on in.
Alright, so you head into town then.
Might see if there's any bullets for sale.
Bullets. Might not have come to the best place. Okay, yeah, there's... it's not a massive town. Lots of fairly sort of primitive-looking wooden houses, far and away from the beautiful stone structures you may have been used to. Yep, there's a local tavern, of course. You know, there's the rest are basically sort of subsistence fishing, marketplace, subsistence farming. You know, the standard kind of residential areas, the kind of place you'd expect in a not particularly wealthy town, fisher's town like this. Yeah, there's a brewery.
A blacksmith.
Yeah, there's a blacksmith.
Might be worth checking out.
You can see it in the pictures.
Yeah, there he is.
Where would you like to go, party?
Lady Madeline.
Where would we like to go party?
That's an interesting question.
Well then, I'll take the initiative and go to the blacksmith.
Alright, you go to the local blacksmith. You find a heavy-set man hammering out what looks to be a sword on an anvil.
I look
Yes?
over his...
Easier.
So,
What do you want?
do you do any casting work?
Well, yes.
How about round steel balls?
Round steel ball. Like,
Small.
you mean like bullets?
Yes.
Oh, yes, the soldier station here, they use bullets like that. I find the use of these guns a bit cowardly myself.
Thank you! Thank you!
Oh,
So,
thank you, strange boy.
I was just travelling in the company of one who uses guns on a regular basis. I have yet to be able to fully voice this opinion to him in a manner that he accepts.
Oh, well, I will leave you to your weird personal troubles. What business do you have?
well, bullets then.
You would like... How many bullets would you like?
Well, 10 would be good.
10 bullets. Alright, come back in a few hours, and I'll have them prepared for you.
Do you have powder as well?
Yes, I should have some powder, I think.
Perfect.
There is some demand for bullets among the local troops here. That will be 50 crowns, is that alright?
It'll do.
Okay,
money on
it's not
delivery.
exactly easy finding the resources here, especially when the troops take so much.
Why do they need so much ammunition? I wouldn't have thought there would be many things to shoot on this island.
It's not so much that they need the ammunition, it's like they like to be better armed than the locals. Which
It's
is understandable because... Well, I won't say anything else, I'm just doing my job. Clang, 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 clang.
Everyone seems so friendly and hardworking here. I doubt they have much reason to be so well armed.
Well, it's not my business to talk about. You see, his mood has clearly changed. He doesn't want to talk about this subject anymore.
Oh well.
We'll leave you to work.
Pleasure
All
doing
right.
business.
Interesting. As we're walking away, I'll just nudge Nash and look towards Flora. So, the locals and the local guards are in an arms race. That is interesting.
Useful.
This, combined with the fact that the guards seem to have somehow lost or misplaced one of their inquisitors. Are you seeing what's happening here, Nash?
I think we can start something here.
I don't want to get anybody hurt.
Oh, people get hurt.
With respect, you know that it's going to kick off here sooner or later anyway, right?
Yeah.
I mean, building a wooden village on an island is asking for it to be burned down, but building a wooden village on top of a powder keg is a really stupid idea.
Yeah, and if we took care of that garrison one way or another, it would be advantageous.
If nothing else, at least it would keep Daradon busy.
Yeah.
I suggest we take some time to walk around, see how large the village is and how much of a military presence Teradon have here.
Yes, and we
Ratio of troops to locals.
could listen in on the local banter, so to speak, the tavern.
You hear a voice inside your head, Swift. Yes, starting a revolution. Chaos, fire, excellent, Swift. This is why I chose you. He seems very amused by this.
I think I'd like this guy.
I have to try and... it's difficult switching from Swedish to normal, or Nordic to normal. Okay. I keep going back into it again.
The captain
all
and
right.
Talon are going to turn Swedish
So
soon
you
enough.
wander around the village. Yeah, okay. You wander
Yeah,
around
Donovan
the
was just going
village.
to pick up an accent.
While I was here, I picked up an accent. Now I
That's
talk
why he
this way
speaks so
all the
weird.
time.
I think he'd go shopping for them.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Right. Where do you want to go next?
Well, have a stroll around, listen in, and then
I'd
the
capture the general
tavern.
mood, I suppose.
Yeah, tavern.
And making note of like how many guards there are, where they like
All right,
numbers.
that'd be a streetwise roll for whoever wants to make it.
Ba-ba-da-bam, ba-dum, ba-dum,
I've got some
ba-dum.
streetwise, although I don't know if you want to penalise me.
Wow.
Laura knows people.
Okay.
These
Swift
people are weird.
and Nash. I mean, you know, everything seems so strange to you. You know, you don't really gather very much. Flora, on the other hand, this seems to be a fairly well-armed garrison with portion of troops to locals is pretty good. However, I mean, you get a sense of a great discontent between troops and locals. They don't seem to like each other very much. Occasionally, what you'll see is a local girl arm in arm. You know, one of the guards, and then that will get absolute daggers staring at them from the locals.
Is the guards mainly Daradonian or
I was about
locals?
to ask
They're
that.
all they're all Daradonian.
Oh,
Yeah.
There is like it's a sort of a city guard, but there are far more. But it seems to be mainly a kind of a ceremonial thing. I mean, there are no real illusions that this is a town that's under occupation.
Yeah, the city guards are
There's
given all
only
the
the
crap
most
jobs
thin,
that the
there's
proper
only the
guards
most
don't want to
thin
do.
facade that this is anything other than basically a Daradonian colony.
I think this governor needs a knife between his ribs, and this will really kick off.
Yeah, but he's guarded pretty heavily. I don't think it would be all that easy.
Everybody
Also,
has to
if
sleep.
if we start slaying Daradonian officials, then greater might will fall upon this little settlement, and innocents will be horribly killed.
There's worse things than death.
Yeah, I'm not sure this really counts as, like, existing. Like, sooner or later there's going to be a massacre here.
Can I just remind you, says Norman, that our objective here is to get the sealed document so we can secure the supplies from the warehouse so we can get the repairs and get out of here. We're not here to start a revolution.
Well, ending the occupation eliminates the need for this document.
Precisely. We aren't going to need the document if the guards that would require the document are indisposed or on fire.
It's not our place to make judgment on whether these people under occupation will want to fight and risk their lives.
We don't have to make judgment, they do.
Let's see what we can find out about the people in the tavern.
All right, you head on to the local tavern then. Some of you may be familiar with this tavern, but if you are, shut up.
I think you are at this point.
Okay. You enter the local tavern.
I vaguely recognize the barkeep.
Yeah.
Is this going to be a
Maybe.
Nurse Joy situation? Every barkeep in the entirety of Thaeon has a pompadour.
Possibly. You never know. It just seems to be the style among barkeeps.
Mm.
Yeah, it's tavern. Yeah, it's a fairly raucous place, but you know, it seems like the refuge of the local people. They don't seem to feel quite so oppressed here. It seems that this is a place where the local guards don't seem to come so much. This seems to be more of a locals kind of tavern.
William,
Yes.
keep an eye out for anyone who has like a regal or noble bearing. I'm going to guess there used to be a chief or like a leading clan here somewhere.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
Would
go.
you like to make me a notice roll for that very thing?
Yes. Yes. Haha.
You notice two men in particular who do carry themselves with a very regal bearing. And indeed, you know, by the look of their tattoos and their armor, they just seem like they're a cut above everyone else here. Would you like to approach them?
No.
No. Okay.
I'd like to sit at the bar close by.
You like to sit at the bar. Do you want to eavesdrop on the conversation, or?
Yes.
Okay. Right. As you look over to them, you see one man. This dude here.
Mm-hmm.
He's very large. He's ruddy-faced with a long mane of dirty blonde hair. Is hairy, largely bare-chested, but for a tabard and a shoulder plate, with intricate tattoos all over his body. He projects a sense of pride and fearlessness. Other man you see at the table. You see a man with a long white beard and a horned iron helmet. The helmet seems to hang heavy on his head.
Oh,
if the
is it
weight-
horned?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, whatever. It's a
Ceremonial.
helmet with horns on it. Whatever you
It's not a battle
Scandinavians call
helmet,
it.
it's ceremonial.
But the helmet seems to hang heavy on his head, as if the weight of his responsibilities was wearing him down.
Mhm.
I'll
And you
nudge
hear-
Nash with my elbow. So that one over there. I'm going to go with previously the best warrior in the village, now kind of out of work, and the other one, ex-chief. What do you think?
Probably.
Okay.
Who's that fainted on the floor?
Someone's fainted on the floor?
Yeah.
She's not fainted on the floor, she's standing up. Depending on the way you're looking at her. Anyway.
She
would you
defies
gentlemen
regular
like some
physics.
drinks, or...
Yes, a mug of ale and a soft drink for my little friend over here.
You're no fun.
She nods.
Some goat milk, maybe.
Don't
Okay.
even go there.
Anyway, you hear the following exchange between these two men. The large man with long flowing blonde hair just slams his fist down onto the table and it shakes under his considerable strength. Now we must attack them now. It has gone on for far too long, this humiliating state of affairs.
Subtle.
So, let's walk over there.
And the other man says, "Not so loud, please, Alfric. I'm afraid enough of... I've already had one of my sons die. I do not need two more to die either."
Hello, gentlemen.
I can't help but hear you talking
The man
revolution.
who's identified as Alfric just turns to you and snarls, "Who are you, and what are you doing here?"
I was just going to inform you that an opportunity will present itself. Are you ready to
Why do you
seize it?
talk as if you're sneaking around in the shadows? Talk to me like a real man, like a real warrior.
Oh, You want that? We're going to set shit on fire, and you're going to get an opportunity to fight back.
Who the hell are you, and why are you talking about setting things on fire?
Do you want help or not?
I do not know even who the hell you are. A real warrior is proud of who they are. I am Ulfric, son of Wulfstan, the chief of the village. Who are you?
I am not a real warrior.
Oh,
Snorts with disgust.
But I am the only help you'll get.
And why would we need help from outsiders, who aren't even real warriors, who won't even say their real name?
I am Robin.
Oh.
Robin.
Yes.
Like a little bird that flitters in the air and sings its sweet little song in your ear. How typical.
Yes.
Actually, robins don't have as sweet a song as you'd think. I'll just say from behind him. Quite
Anyways.
annoying.
And smart as little boys as well. Who the hell are you people?
We just arrived.
Well, that much is clear.
Yes. You have a
Stan
problem
just
here.
Son, please. Wherever you are, just leave us in peace. We do not need or want any help. We have enough troubles just getting by as it is without setting things on fire. Now, you're very clearly very stupid for just coming out to the village chief and talking about setting things on fire. But if you leave now, I might not tell the guard.
Oh, like you're shouting out that you need to counterattack?
I apologize for my son. He has a strong temper. He does not mean everything he says. I do mean everything I say, father. We have lived in this shame long enough.
It's an admirable
Please.
stance.
Well, I'm glad little Robin thinks so. Listen. Son, whoever you are. Let's just say we do try and fight these people. Then they'll just send a bigger army if we win. And if we win against them, then they send another bigger army, and a bigger one. And then they just burn the whole town down.
Excuse
Is
me.
that smart?
Chief? Could I ask a question?
What is it, little one?
Do you know what happened to the previous Inquisitor who was in this town?
There were various rumors about him. But, I have talked to you people long enough. I still don't know why we should discuss our business with outsiders.
Well, we have a mutual problem.
And what is this problem, pray tell?
Well, we are both not friends of the Deredonian occupation.
I see. And why not?
Well, they don't like us.
Oh no, please don't, please don't, please don't.
We're from Jarrock. And we just want
Well.
to do our business and get on with it.
That perhaps explains why you seem so unfamiliar with the situation, and you seem to say such foolishness.
It is extraordinarily foolish to say stuff like that, you know, Robin.
Yeah, but they seem straightforward enough.
Though I may not go and tell the authorities about what you've done, there are plenty around this tavern who might not be so generous, which is why I counsel my son to keep his temper down. I counsel you to keep your mouth shut and go about your business and leave. Leave us alone.
Well, I sort of admire your son's straightforwardness. He's bold. I like that.
I'll just wander back over towards Flora and take her hand.
Because I got
Yeah.
kind of left behind.
Yeah. But William is about to cause problems.
Mm.
And don't know if you
He
can hear
came
the
in with
bellowing.
the intention of causing problems.
Not the problems that we were intending to cause, I fear.
This should be interesting.
Just,
Right. Listen. The thing is, as I just said, we're not going to start a revolution where we will probably all be burned and crucified and hanged for a bunch of strangers who wander here who won't even tell us who they are. Alright? No matter how much temper my son may have.
So
He is not my only son. I have another son. Olaf is the captain of the city guard. And he's a lapdog, father. He follows that Halford around like a puppy. He's disgraceful. He's not a true warrior. He is not my brother, and he is not your son.
well, that explains it.
Listen,
I've
we are
just pulled
just trying to
Flora.
live a peaceful life here.
Yeah. Bring me close. Ash may need some
Father,
assistance.
he does
Some
not
healing.
deserve to inherit
Yeah.
the title of chief from you when you die. He will just be a puppet to his hero Hartford. Son, this is the way things are. I am old and I have fought many battles. Now I just want my sons to live long and happy lives. This is the best we can do. He just seems to go quiet at this point, as if there's an opportunity for you to say something.
Yeah. Okay,
Chief,
well, I wasn't certain at which point we got in there.
I was wondering, just out of curiosity, have you ever considered just moving? Like, Deradon holds no power in Jarok. Or the island nations.
This is our home. And even if we did leave, I don't know if we would be able to survive in another land. All the people who wanted to make an exodus, all the people who thought it was alright to leave behind their homes and the things they had built have already left. There was one group long ago who went off and found a tiny island in Dorsia, but they're all crazy. I said about them, the better. Little reference there.
Yeah.
Anyway. Oh, I do not want to leave. My family is here. My people are here. I am the chief, as my father and my fathers were before me. So no, I am not going to leave.
What about extending the reach of the island nations, the Confederation? I mean, wouldn't they have you?
You're suggesting that we have a revolution, and then we form an alliance with the Osean Federation, which is hundreds and hundreds of miles away. Do you see how silly that idea is?
Well, you just said yourself there's islands between. Stranger things have happened.
Let me just give you a quick reminder of what the world map looks like. And also, I forgot.
Oh.
Let me
Okay,
just...
fair enough.
I completely forgot all of this. My apologies.
The landing.
This is where you are
Oh, okay, that explains
on the
a lot.
world map right now.
I
So
shouldn't- we're in the
basically,
middle of
he was
nowhere.
suggesting that they have a revolution here.
Okay.
And join this lot over here. There you go.
Okay, so my
Move the
knowledge
island
of
over.
geography is somewhat limited. I accept this.
And your character's knowledge of geography is characteristically limited, so it's just your character. It's fine. Okay.
Risky but not unthinkable.
I lean over to Flora and whispers in their ears. Oh, they're reluctant to start a revolution, and because they think they might have more problems with the Daradonians. But they don't know that the Daradonians might have bigger issues on their hands soon.
In which case, if they wish to wait until a better time, then perhaps we should just continue on, and maybe if they have the opportunity later, but as it is at the moment.
Well, that doesn't really help the our situation.
I still fear the retribution that would fall upon this town if we did strike against Eridon at this moment.
I see.
Listen, I shouldn't say anything, but if you really want to help, there is one small thing that you could do. There are some precious artifacts and relics that Hartford has taken for himself, secluded away in his mansion. If there is some way you could retrieve them for us, it would provide us with a lot of solace and joy. Have them back again. Hide them away and worship in secret.
Likewise, there is something you could do for us.
What is it you want us to do for...
Nudge Flora.
Fine, I'll do it. We have a ship in dock at the moment, and the local guards have refused to resupply us, so that we can, continue onwards. The sort of rope, sails, boring shippy stuff. But yeah, we prefer to be able to actually refit our ship and move along as fast as possible. But they're delaying us until their new Inquisitor arrives. Still have no idea what happened to the old one.
Oh, you mean they're denying you access to the rope and the sailcloth and supplies they steal from us as taxes on a regular basis?
Yes.
Well, we could provide enough materials for your vessel to repair itself and get on its way swiftly. We can even provide some of our sailors to help it get fixed before tomorrow. But like I said,
ideal.
You need to bring us those artifacts from the mansion first, or it's no deal.
How big are they?
They are about this big.
How many?
They are sacred totems. There are 5 of them.
That's doable.
They are made out of sacred wood from the life tree, so they should be fairly easy for you to carry. But do not harm them or scratch them. They are sacred to our people. But we would be overjoyed if you could get them back.
Are you certain that this guy has just taken them? I mean, if they are, as I suspect, symbols of another religion, then the Daradonian captain may have,
harmed them.
I'll just let that go unsaid.
Sold them on.
It is shameful the way I know for sure that they are certainly there. Even speaking of it to outsiders fills my heart with sadness and rage and anger.
I'm sorry, Chief.
Just listen. Many of our local girls, these pious hypocrites, take them back to the mansion, ply them with promises of booze and money and ale, and they have their way with them. Disgusting foreign bastards with our women. All the pride we used to have as people of Skalavik. It fills my heart with sadness. And this is the thing that fuels my son's rage every day.
It's
I
understandable.
heard from one of the girls that the governor was taunting one of them about having the figures. And that is how I know that they are still there. I also know that we have a special crop grown only by our skilled farmers on Skalavik. It is called... Hang on, I've made a note of this because I forgot what it's called.
Chief looks at the writing on his arm.
The ambush.
It is called androsite. I think I might call it that, actually. It is called androsite. It is a special herb that makes one feel as if they are floating calmly on the breeze. It is what many of our people make them feel at peace with the world.
And apparently Flora took it one night.
Are your people well known for their raids?
They were. That was many years ago now, before we were basically conquered. I myself used to lead many of such raids.
We will try our best to help you.
Yes.
Anyway,
It's the least we can do for you.
As I was saying, they confiscate all our stores of androcyte. Because it is illegal for them. But I think those hypocrites, they snort it during their little parties at their little manor. I know that they're having one tonight, as a matter of fact.
Oh, good. They'll be out of commission.
Listen, I do not want you to start any trouble if it can be avoided.
Certainly.
And if you do, with respect, I'd rather the blame fall on you than the people of this village.
Oh,
Seems fair.
We'd accept that.
I guess we'll have to accept that.
Ulfric at this point is just gritting his teeth and rubbing his fists together, just restraining himself. He seems to kind of realize the wisdom of his father, even though in his heart, obviously, he wants to fight. Okay. So, as I said, you bring back those artifacts for us, and we'll get your ship fixed up in time to leave before the Inquisitor gets here.
Good. It is a deal.
Go with peace.
Peace to you.
Thank you.
And I sort of gathered the troops.
And at this point, Frick just says, "If you see my brother, I don't care if you have to kill him. He does not deserve a true warrior's death anyway."
Noted.
Wolfstan just goes up beside him. "Do not listen to him! I am sorry. Please do not harm my son.
I will.
He is a good boy.
I will stay my blade.
He is just trying to help the island and Freyfire his own way." He sighs and he shakes his head.
Okay.
All right, do your business.
Let's walk over and converse a bit.
You're presented with a tankard and a soft drink, and you're asked for 2 crowns.
Oh, here you go. I pay up.
Right.
Yeah, could be worse. So, Lady Madeline, was it? How much of a socialite are you feeling like?
And could you seduce this
What?
person, if need be?
Nash, you can't ask the priestess to do that. Even I know that.
God, you should be glad that Norman's outside right now.
I'm just
What the hell is
weighing.
wrong with you?
I'm just weighing our options.
That is not an option.
It is not. What if we desperately need it?
I can't say I've done it before,
God.
and it might put me at great risk.
It might. We'll try to avoid it, but I still feel we need a contingency plan if worst comes to worst. This Ulfric might have some use.
Can't ask a priestess of anything, really, to try and
We're past that.
influence the
A
angry
blind
berserker.
priestess, no less.
Just no, we can't do that.
No, we're past this. I'm talking about Ulfric.
No, we're above this.
Okay. Yes.
No.
No, but I'm talking about contingency plan with Ulfric. He seems hot-headed enough. So if worst comes to worst.
You can slip into places that chances are the rest of us can't.
Yes.
Well, chances are she can't. I'll just jack my thumb towards Flora. But why don't we just grab the idol and get out of here?
Yeah, that's plan A.
If our thing goes as it should, then these people will have their opportunity to do whatever it is they want to do.
But if
we'll come here, we'll drop in on the way back and free the entire town. How's that?
that's not what I'm getting at. Whilst I'm sneaking around doing my thing, what if I get caught?
Then I will burn down anything that looks like it has enemy soldiers inside.
Yes, but we still need some sort of contingency.
That is the contingency.
No, we need more.
Okay, fine. I'll burn down the entire village.
No. No. Listen. If Ulrich is as eager to fight as I think he is, he might be able to do something if anything happens.
Yes, but he won't listen to any of us. Unless you didn't notice, you're exactly the thing he hates.
No. He hates
Yes,
the
he
Daredonians.
No, he hates you more than the Daredonians, dude.
Well, then you should speak to him.
Yes, you're right. I should do it, because he clearly respects the fire of youth. None of us can persuade him to do shit. Unless you want to try beating him in a fist fight, in which case, go right ahead. But if you try and use any tricksy tricks, then he's really going to hate you more.
Yeah, so let's not do that.
I mean, by all means, go ahead, do the whole boxing thingy. I mean, it seems to work with that ass from the ship.
Rather not risk it.
If we needed Ulrich to do something, I think we would be able to nudge him in a certain direction. If he is as straightforward and honest as he appears, then it should be no great difficulty to guide him a certain path. Especially if it led to violence, since he seems all too keen to it.
And this is only a precaution.
If you did get captured, I would play the part of the enraged noble and take issue with them detaining one of my servants.
They might take issue with one of your servants being caught with his hands figuratively and possibly literally in the pockets of the state.
Yeah.
Depending on how compromising the position is.
Are we still talking about that, or is this plan B?
This is plan B too.
Fair enough. Let's just go take a look at this guy's mana, see what we're dealing with.
And get some sort of invitation to his party.
I thought that was plan B.
Well, he's having a party. That's a good distraction.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Okay,
And
fair enough.
if they're smacked up on this androcite, it would be a good distraction.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, honestly, if you speak
Alright, so you wanna
then you
try
might be
and
able to
get an
persuade him to sign the thing in the first place.
You want to
Maybe.
get an invitation to the party.
And
Nash
plan
starts
B? Let's just call it Plan F.
fuck everything up.
You've got
Strange
two
plan.
plans. You know what you're doing. You know,
Let's go.
you're basically okay.
Let's go.
Plan A is to
So
do what
you're
we said
gonna-
we would do. Plan B
you're
is
gonna-
to try and salvage it. Plan F is to set everything on fire.
Yes.
You got 3 plans. That's more than enough. So you
Yeah.
want to head down to the manor then?
Yes, let's go to the manor that Brick has probably written box decks about.
Oh yes, you better believe it. You better frickin' believe it.